Ah,
You
yeah.
got the, you got the COVID?
No, I got my sinuses. I just really fucking bad.
I
Yeah,
took like a
Sorry.
3.5 hour nap.
sinus pills are a lot of fucking money though.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
Just for like 3 days worth.
I'm pretty good. Doing good. Hanging in there. Thanks, buddy. I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, but they can't hear me. Thank God. Shout out to Chad. They always do that. They can't hear me. Thank God. Shout out to Chad. Okay, now I'm good. Alrighty. Shout out to the bearded wonder himself. Can you guys hear me now? You guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. We are Gucci. So the whole intro was scrapped, but hey, episode 63, PlayStation Showcase. We're gonna have some fun. But how you doing, Lou? How's everything going?
Pretty decent. Can't complain right now. So.
Yeah. All right, this should be a fun one, man. Pretty much the consensus of the internet for PlayStation Showcase 2021 was it was very good. I saw a few complaints. Well, how did everybody here feel about it? What was your overall rating from A to F scaling? How'd you guys feel about the showcase? Let's start out with my beautiful, sleepy, beautiful Dead by Daylight cousin. Oh wait, never mind. Hold up, scrap. I'm excited, boys. I'm all over the place, man. I just want to talk right to Wolverine, but we need to calm down because let's talk about what we've been playing. What are we enjoying right now, and are we going to pick anything else up in September? Let's start with JJ. What have you been gaming?
Lately, I've been playing. We jumped back into Dead by Daylight, which has been really fun.
We had a bad day last night.
Yeah, last night was not good. It's hard to play with a 9-year-old.
Hey, we love you, Maxie. Especially Lou.
Played some. Been playing some Predator with Seth and Max and Madden, and I've been playing NCAA Football 14 and God of War Ascension. That's what I've been.
What's your feeling on Ascension? I know a lot of people didn't like Ascension, but I thought Ascension was very good for the end of an era PS3 game.
Oh, it looks fantastic for like you said, but they had all the PS3. I like it. But I think that's
man, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, it's one thing God of War's always done a good job is the opening. The openings are usually really good.
Yeah,
it's probably one of the weaker ones of the series, but
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
But that's all I've been really doing.
All right, Lou.
Sonic.
What? Oh yeah, Sonic. Lou, what you been gaming?
Mostly MLB. I'm doing a little Ghost of Tsushima here and there with Red Dead Redemption. I've been doing Life is Strange, True Colors, as you well know.
Yes.
So I've been balancing a couple of things at a time. I'm gonna put MLB down because I fully maxed out in
Yeah.
levels. So
Yes, you did.
yep, and wait until the seventh inning program. I should be done with Life is Strange tomorrow. Then I'll probably move on to. I don't know. I haven't really decided what I want to do next. I'm just buying some time until Black Friday, and so at this point, I was thinking of getting the Guardians, but I think I'm gonna wait until Black Friday, if it goes on sale. So just buying time, really. So
I hear you on that, brother. Like JJ said, we've been playing some Dead by Daylight again. It feels really fun to play that game again. It's having so much fun. We bought the Stranger Things characters because they're going bye-bye soon, like in a couple months or something. That's the problem with licensing characters and stuff. There's an expiration date, and when you don't renew it, you're kind of F. So we got them, and we got Ash Williams from Ash versus the Evil Dead, which is and obviously Evil Dead series is one of my favorites. If you remember me and JJ's Halloween special a couple years ago, it's cool to have him there too. We were having a lot of fun with that. Played a little bit of Predator. I played a little bit of Sonic Colors. I've been going. We're in our Madden league, so I've been playing that as well. I've been a little all over the place. Most of my time, I've been up like super early till like 6 and 7 a.m. in the morning playing Tales of Arise, and absolutely about 24 hours, absolutely in love with the game. It's hard for me to put it down. Obviously, on the show grind never stops. You got to keep going. I got to keep getting all the new awesome diamond cards and stuff. So I'm a little behind, so I didn't finish my program like Lou did. I'm close. I'm like 3 levels away, but I'll get there. But I've been playing mostly Tales of Arise, and I've been so stoked. Such an excellent JRPG. Probably my game of the year by far. Excellent. It was Returnal, but now I'm probably a little bit halfway into it, but I've been so impressed with the characters, the combat, everything. And I thought of all this when I played the demo. Like it reassured me. Of course, the backlog is real. I still haven't opened these. I got these from the Naval Exchange for $49, and I haven't opened. Got the Neo collection I haven't ripped open. I've been meaning to rip open. Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I beat Scarlet Nexus a few weeks ago. We'll talk about that in our favorite moments of the year, because that game really surprised me. And I also got non-gaming related. I got some nice JBL earbuds.
Nice.
Bluetooth earbuds for $15. Normally $60, $100. I got them for $15 at Naval Exchange. Shout out to Pops. Lucky break right there. Thank you for your service there. But I'm planning to pick up Diablo 2 and Kena Bridge of Spirits hopefully this month as well. I want to play some D2 with JJ, get my druid going. Maybe Elo and Rollo or anybody else that gets it. Chad the Bearded Wonder if you're getting D2. Kena, no one's talking about it anymore, and I'm kind of hoping that hype comes back, because the game looks really good. It looks really good. It should be promoted more. I know they promoted a lot of Deathloop. Deathloop might be game of the year. You know, we haven't picked it up here in GG and Friends yet. We'll probably wait for a sale. I was sold on it. I know a lot of the panel wasn't or anything like that, but I do agree they did show probably a little too much about that. But hey, that's what we're gaming right now. Let's go right into the PlayStation Showcase 2021. People were waiting and waiting. When is the E3 event? When is it going to happen? It finally happens. 40-minute showcase. You saw my live reaction on here. We hear noises in Lou's background. We're figuring him out, people. We know who he is now.
Wait, that was me.
Oh, that was you?
That was Seth or Max. I don't know which one.
Oh, God damn it, JJ. We almost had it. We almost solved the mystery of Lou. But on a rating scale of A to F, what did you fellas think of the PlayStation Showcase? Let's start with Lou. What was your thoughts on it? What was your overall rating of the PlayStation Showcase?
I thought it was very solid. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it probably a B plus, maybe
Mhm.
close to an A. I thought it was very solid. It's not really the best show that I've seen, but it was a really good show, especially as it was the best show out of the whole year that
Mm.
anyone has done. So, but it wasn't overwhelming. I loved a lot of the announcements. There was a lot of things that just caught me off guard.
Yeah.
A lot. So,
What about
go
you,
ahead.
beautiful cousin? What was your overall rating of the show? What'd you think, Mister
I'm right
Godwin?
where Lou is. I thought it was a B plus. I thought, like he said, they showed a lot of stuff I wasn't expecting. Then they didn't show things I was expecting. So, but it, yeah, it was like a B plus. It was, like Lou said, it was probably the best show of the year. But I wanted to see more of like Horizon.
First of all, you guys are wrong. Ubisoft's show was the best.
Oh boy.
I'm right.
I
I'm right there.
thought,
Go ahead.
I thought the THQ Nordic show was best.
The new SpongeBob
That-
game was the best show of the year.
And Destroy All Humans 2
Yeah.
trailer was
Yeah.
the first thing I've seen in a long time.
Hey, they got 28 games that are not announced yet.
I know
okay?
that's kind of crazy, man. That's big. Hopefully, some cool new and remakes in there. But I'm with you guys 100%. B plus, B plus. The show was excellent, really, really good. The reason why I can't give it an A plus, it was missing one thing for me, like one like nostalgic thing, maybe Infamous, the Twisted Metal, Sly Cooper, maybe if they had a Persona 6 tease. It was missing one thing on the cherry on top for the Sunday. But overall, what an excellent showcase. I think a lot of people probably got bored of the middle. The middle, like it started out really strong with KOTOR, which is Knights of the Old Republic remake, and Project Eve, and then more Deathloop and some other stuff, which I'm not hating on those games. Those games are good. And then it ends really, really strong. Like it ends super, super strong with Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, and Ragnarok, which were just wow. And then the biggest surprise of all, Wolverine, where we're like, what the hell? Like even in my chat and everything, I was like, I'm like, wait, what? Like I'm like, this is Spider-Man 2? Wait, Insomniac? Wait, what? No, wait, huh? Is this Wolverine? And then the claws I was like, oh shit! Like I couldn't believe it. And you know me, I am pretty critical on CGI trailers, but I got hyped for some of like the Spider-Man and the not God of War. God of War was all gameplay and looked excellent. But Wolverine and stuff. If those games didn't have CGI trailers and actually had gameplay, then this showcase is the A 100%. But CGI usually doesn't do it for me. But what they're setting up for Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, man, wow, what a surprise! What a surprise! Everybody knows here, and maybe you got the newcomers that are joining the channel and subbing. Welcome. But B, my two favorite superheroes of all time, because I kind of grew up with them, was the X-Men TV show and Spider-Man TV show and the Batman TV show. So those three, like Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Batman, are like my favorites, like of all time. But Wolverine and Spider-Man are my two favorites of all
Such a
time.
basic bitch.
And it's so excellent to have Insomniac just have like, so I, as a fan, I'm very lucky. I'm still waiting for my boy Moon Knight to get some shine. Maybe he'll get a cameo in one of those games or something.
Did you hear though?
Huh?
That's confirmed. It's confirmed that that's the same universe.
It's supposed to be a standalone game. Lou was telling me about this, but I hope it is. I hope there's some references to Spider-Man and stuff into
It's
it.
confirmed that it is the same universe.
That makes me very happy because I don't want to be like this guy, but if I was Marvel, I would just want to hand my Marvel Ferraris to Sony Studios. Give one to Sucker Punch. Give one to Sony Santa Monica. But that was kind of the biggest complaint I saw of the show for a lot of people was it was too much sequels and too much Marvel. A lot of people were kind of getting bored of superheroes. I am in terms of movies and TV. I'm not super into the MCU like I was before Endgame. But game-wise, there's still a lot of potential, and especially with Insomniac helming it, I am super stoked, super excited about it. We kind of went over some of our favorites already, but what was some of your surprises and favorites overall, JJ, of the show?
Well, we all know what my favorite was.
Of course, yeah.
It was God of War, but I was surprised not at the Old Republic, and then the Wolverine one was the most shocking. But yeah, God of War was my one I wanted to see, and it's the one. And I'm glad they showed gameplay. I'm glad they showed some story stuff. It looks good. It looks good.
A lot of people felt like that looked like a PS4 game, and it wasn't a big graphical leap. But how'd you feel about it? Because to me, it looked very effing good to me. It looked better than a PS4 game. And on my 4K 60-inch TV, I'm going to enjoy this game very much.
Well, I mean, if you're watching, a lot of us watch it on our phone, so it's not going to be as high quality as watching it on your TV. But I thought it looked great. I thought it looked better in PS4. It's kind of like we were talking about with Ascension. God of War PS4 looked really good, but I think Ragnarok looked. I mean, it looked like a PS5 game. So I'm excited about it. I'm very, very, very excited.
And we'll talk more about Ragnarok as we go on. But Lou, what were some of your favorites and surprises in this showcase?
Obviously Spider-Man. Like I said before, I didn't think it was going to be there until December. So that being there.
I was shocked by that too.
Yeah, that being there, Knights of the Old Republic, which Knights of the Old Republic is going to be timed exclusive.
Yeah,
according to PlayStation blog.
That's
I thought that was shocking in itself.
Yeah.
The Wolverine game. I mean, that I did not expect anything like that, to be quite honest.
I don't think anybody did. I don't think anybody expected Wolverine.
Yeah, and God of War, I expected it to be there. I expected gameplay. So, I looked really good. I'm actually shocked that they're going to end the mythology so quickly, but I get why after reading Corey's comments.
Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. My favorite, actually, none of you mentioned, and it was one of the first games shown, and it blew me away because I really thought it was Bayonetta. And I was like, wait, no, that's Switch. Bayonetta's Switch, But Project Eve, that game looked very fascinating to me. It looked very much like a Bayonetta, Nier Automata, Devil May Cry over crazy combat aggression type game. Like, it looked pretty damn good. I don't know that studio. Shout out to that studio, by the way, that Korean studio. That CEO bought that whole studio PS5s after that showcase, after they unveiled the game. He gave everybody in the studio a PS5, which is pretty damn cool. I know a lot of people are still struggling to get there, but I don't think that story made enough rounds. That's cool. Walking into work and getting a PS5 is excellent. But
what's the name of that studio? Is it Shift Up?
It's Shift Up. I think you're right. Yes, but that game very much intrigued me. There was so much gameplay of it. There was 4 minutes of it. It took a good chunk of this 40 minutes. It was even more than God of War, and it looked excellent. It looked very fun. I'm very excited. I'm hoping. It is good. We don't know yet. I mean, how much of it is gameplay, how much of it's CGI, right? We'll see in the end. There was no release date, right, on that one?
No.
No, yeah. No release date on that one. I want to give a shout out to Tiny Tina. It's more Borderlands, but it was probably my favorite DLC. And Borderlands 1 was Tiny Tina's castle. So this is just a full version of that. I'm excited for that one. More Borderlands. Please no glitch trophies. I don't want to wait. Lou and I don't want to wait 6.5 months to get a platinum. Can we get our platinum when we beat the game like normal? Very, very excited. Of course, the big hitters. I want to shout out Gran Turismo 7. That looked really, really good.
Looked amazing.
Looked really,
Yes, it did.
Looked really, really
The
good.
shadows come off the car where you can like see the backgrounds of the reflections of it.
It looked so good. I mean, we might have to scoop that one, me and JJ. Surprising, no more Horizon, like JJ said, but kind of smart.
That was the biggest show.
We had a big showcase of it like 3.5-4 months ago. We're pretty much sold on that game. I can't wait to play it. I'm gonna get the $80 digital version so JJ and I get the PS4, PS5 version of the game. You
can get the regular version now. You get the free upgrade, so you can get the standard one.
Yeah, but $10 more is not gonna bug me. I like them. I like them a lot. I like Guerrilla Games. They do a lot of great work.
Your studios.
I spent $110 for Tales of Arise, basically for just costumes. But I really liked the studio, and it was worth it to me. I got a bunch of extra other things with it. What up, Allie?
Right.
But I just got a quick shout out of those three. Obviously, Wolverine stole the show. I don't think anybody saw that coming. And we were talking about this a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. You, me, and JJ, Lou. There was that rumor of that Daredevil game that Troy Baker kind of threw out there, right, or something. It was a Daredevil. He said that he knew of another Marvel game being worked by Sony, and we were just talking about, grain of salt, don't believe it. It might have been that Wolverine game he was talking about. It might have been.
Maybe it's a Wolverine game.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second because I had that theory too. What was missing for you guys? What didn't you like about the showcase? Was it too long, too short? How'd you feel? What was some of your grievances with it, Lou?
Well, I feel like that Sony has a lot of other stuff that they're working on that's kind of almost ready to be shown. And I feel like that they're holding off and showing it. And I feel like we saw a lot of third-party stuff. Like, we didn't need to see GTA, even though it got delayed.
Yes.
We didn't really need to see Tiny Tina, to be quite honest. Some of these third-party, we just didn't need to see it at all. I feel like they should have just kept it mostly exclusive for this showcase. Even if it meant, they had a little dialogue after the show where they talked about God of War.
Yeah.
They could have replaced some of the third-party stuff and put that in there with the God of War showcase and made it part of the show, because it wasn't that long. It was only 5 to 7 minutes of dialogue.
Yeah.
And it just feels like that Sony has more, and I get the whole idea of stretching it out over time, and some of the stuff is not ready yet. I don't mind if it's CGI trailers or if it's just, hey, we're working on, I don't know, a new Twisted Metal game to go with the show. You know what I mean? Just something in that way. So I just thought the third party, which was the middle of the show, kind of soured the show for me a little bit. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
That's basically it.
What about you, DJ? What was some of your grievances with it a little bit?
A lot of the same is I don't need to see GTA 5 anymore. The game's been out since 2013. And we know what's up with it. It's gonna sell. It always does.
Yeah.
It's the reason why they haven't made another one. It's gonna sell.
Yeah.
I think they've been doing themselves a disservice by pushing Deathloop so much. I think that's I think they've hurt the game by trying to shove it down everyone's throats. Because it looks good, it rated well, and I know they're trying to push it, but in terms of, let's say, wrestling, when you try to shove Roman Reigns or John Cena down people's throats, they're not going to like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
give me 1 second, fellas.
Yeah. But I think Deathloop, I think they did itself a disservice. I just keep hammering it home.
Yeah, I think, and it got a great Metascore too.
I'm sure it's an awesome game. but a lot of people
Yeah.
are buying it because it's just you gotta buy it. You gotta buy it. It's been on sale since they announced it, pretty much.
Yeah,
That's a good
it's
point.
been way too much of Deathloop. Way too much.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
because I want to play it.
I agree with you guys. Some of mine, like that was a lot of people's feeling of this showcase was. Let me make sure I'm not on mute. A lot of people's. Yeah. Okay. Good. A lot of people felt like they were holding back a little bit. They had a lot more in the arsenal. They're holding back a little bit. And that was supposedly the rumor of this. Supposedly this whole show was supposed to demonstrate mostly third-party things. And then, like third-party partnerships like the KOTOR and Project Eve, stuff like that. And then, Deathloop. And then, ended off with a little taste of what's coming for first party. That's why there's a lot more rumors popping up about the PlayStation Experience in December. They trademarked that thing, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more events this year. They could possibly be at Jeff Keighley's, Game of the Year, Game Awards or whatever. But I kind of have the same feeling as you guys, maybe a little too much, but I think it's smart. And you're paying these third parties a lot of money. I know I didn't want to see GTA or Deathloop again, but you got to. It's part of the job. It's part of the job.
Well, and it could just be me too. Like I said, GTA is outside of maybe Tetris, the highest selling video, or Minecraft is the highest selling video game of all time.
We were all talking about it. It's been all over the internet. The GTA 5 PS5 trailer is the most disliked trailer of all PS5 games of all time.
I think. Make it aware that hey, we're releasing this, but other than that, you don't, unless you're adding, new story chapters, and we're doing this. Unless you do that, everyone's probably beat the freaking story 30 times.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to include it. I get the third party thing, but they already said, hey, we're making GTA 5 last November.
Yeah.
When they did the. So.
And like I said, it was still missing one more big thing. It was missing it was missing PlayStation All Stars 2 or Twisted Metal. It's something nostalgic to hit the bone a little bit. It was missing one of those things, Jack and Daxter or something. We didn't see any Naughty Dog stuff at all this here. I do feel like they were holding back.
Did. Well, no, it's not Naughty. Well, it's the Uncharted 4 / Lost Legacy.
Oh, technically true. Yeah. Technically, you're right. It is yeah. But any of the rumored stuff, they're supposedly working on God of War projects. We didn't see any
When's Factions coming out?
Yeah, we didn't hear any of that stuff. And a lot of people thought Factions would be here. I thought Factions would be here for sure. Children, love you, Maxie. It's
don't get outnumbered.
It's very interesting. I just felt like it was missing that one. And like Lou said, the Twisted, something nostalgic, maybe a big time remake. The Blue Point acquisition, and then Metal Gear or Silent Hill or something. I really felt like they were holding back, but I think that's a good thing. If you feel like you don't have to show your whole cards, don't. We all gave it a B+ still. It was still a very well talked about, well done show. A lot of really good publicity on the showcase. The Wolverine, I don't know how they kept it secret, but nobody knew. It was a big surprise, huge surprise. And then we got a big tease. Maybe we would have thought we saw maybe a little bit of Spider-Man 2 or something, but we got a big tease of potential Kraven and Venom was at the end, with Tony Todd. It's very excellent. It's very excellent. Let's talk about some of the big three that most people are talking about. Let's talk about Wolverine, God of War, and Spider-Man 2. Let's start with Spider-Man 2. I got some notes here. Brian Ititar he was the main game director of the first one. He's going to be creative director, and it's going to be Ryan Smith that's the game director on this one, I guess. I do like that. If this is true that Sony likes rotating directors, I think it gives you a fresh perspective of the game a little bit. They're doing this with God of War as well. It features Peter and Miles, single player only so far. They didn't say anything about co-op. And the OG Candyman himself, Tony Todd, is freaking Venom. It's awesome. It's so cool. And he sounds great. He sounds excellent as Venom. The Venom voice sounds very, very good. So we'll see where it goes. Maybe hints of Wolverine. It's 2023, right? I think it's slated for. So a couple of years away, a year and a half away. Could be late 2023. It could be early 2023. We don't know, but we'll probably get some gameplay. I'm assuming sometime next year for it to kind of ramp up. A lot of people forget, but they showed Spider-Man at E3 like 4 times before that game released. Where it's like, I don't want to see it anymore. Like, stop it. Like, I'm ready for Spider-Man. Stop it. But that tends to be, like, we were saying the same thing about Deathloop, but it tends to be Sony's trend. Because they're like, you're going to watch it. Just watch. You're going to watch it anyway.
The reason I don't watch trailers for movies.
Yeah.
They just show for a lot of the movies, they show all the good parts. And,
you're right about
the movie.
Yeah. The games have been really surprising. Despite all those trailers for Spider-Man, it didn't really spoil much at all. The story was really, really good. Same thing with Ghost and same thing with Death Stranding. They showed good chunks of those games, and it's still really, really good. Despite that final trailer. Don't watch that final trailer. That's a bunch of spoilers for Death Stranding. For sure. Don't do that one. But let's talk about Spider-Man 2 a little bit. I know Elo was talking about this a little bit, that they kind of want co-op in the story. It's slated as a single-player adventure. But Lou, what are your thoughts of Spider-Man 2? Where do you want to go? What do you want to see?
I don't think necessary. Like, the co-op thing is not a buzzkill at all. I do think that it would be ideal, like, to basically have your own universe. Then you go and somebody invites you and you do their missions and play their story, sort of like how Borderlands does their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a deal breaker. I would like to see how creative they can be with 2 characters in the same universe, and maybe they give them their own missions. You can switch characters.
What if they pull a GTA thing where you could just switch between the Spider-Man at will?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. Like I said, I really don't think that that's really a big deal. Like, it doesn't really bother me in any way. I'm still gonna play. I'm still gonna get it. I like the direction that it's going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty solid for me. So.
What about you, JJ? What do you expect from this game? Where to go? You want co-op in it?
I would like to see, like, you know how Ghost of Tsushima does their co-op, where we can go online and do stuff like that.
That's what I suggested last time.
It doesn't have to be like a story-driven thing, or like the coming in and doing some missions is cool. But I do like that. You know, with Ghost, I was able to do my single-player campaign, but I was able, me and 3 buddies can go still hunt down Mongols together. So it'd be cool to have. It obviously, I think it'd be 2 people is the most you could do, but unless they add a.
Well, what about what you just said? I suggested this last time when we did the Miles Morales spoiler cast, a while ago, in January, with Lou. What if they do a Marvel Legends mode, or Spider-Man Legends mode, and you just play as 4 different Spider-Man? Have Spider-Gwen, have Miguel, Spider 2099, like, have all these different Spider-Man you get to play as and do your own little missions and stuff. I rather them personally just keep the story as is. You can have a lot of bugs and frame rate issues when you have people hopping into your game doing a co-op stuff. It's not done very well on a lot of games. It fudges the frame rate. Like, for Borderlands, like PS4, it was like damn near unplayable. Far Cry 5 handled it pretty well, but there was some goofy jank to it a little bit for me and JJ, but we had fun. It's fun jank, And I expect this game to be full PS5. I don't expect this to be a cross-gen game. I know a lot of people are very concerned about that, but by the time 2023 is around, I don't think this will be a cross-gen title. So they probably could use the full power of the PS5, but still, I would rather just enjoy the single-player experience. If you have a Marvel Legends mode, that's cool. I don't think anybody thought Ghost would have had multiplayer, and nor did I ever think of that. I just enjoyed the damn game, but it was really fun when JJ and I were getting all the costumes and having fun. And the director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima, Iki Island, also added a new multiplayer mode, a newer battle mode. I haven't tried it out yet, but it wasn't super appealing to me. So multiplayer isn't my biggest jam in the whole world. I rather enjoy a single player game like Tales of. I don't necessarily need people to hop in and play, but it'll be interesting. This has never happened before. We never had two Spider-Man in the same damn universe in this game. And then the fact that it seems like they're incorporating Kraven's Last Hunt with Venom. Like, I'm assuming Venom's still Harry. You know, obviously the Tony Todd voice is Venom himself, the symbiote. I'm assuming it's still. It's interesting to see where they go. Do you guys think we get the black suit at all? Go ahead, JJ.
Yeah, I think the black suit does come into play because I remember in an interview with Ithatar.
Yeah, Brian.
He said the reason that we didn't have it in the first game is because it's a special suit, but it has a purpose.
Yes.
So I think that will be part of this game at some point.
Yeah.
What was the question? You cut in and out there when you asked the question.
Do you expect the black suit to be playable in this? Do we get the black suit?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. I definitely think so.
Yeah. How would you guys feel like if this was like 70% Peter, 30% Miles? Maybe Miles gets trapped. Maybe Peter.
You want me to spoil it for you?
Maybe. Well, yeah. Go with your one now. What do you think is going to happen?
I think that they're moving forward with one of them. Or what's going to happen is I think Peter's going to get the black suit, become kind of a bad guy Miles has to fight in. So then that becomes the Miles section where
I was thinking about that too.
Where you're kind of, you're battling, obviously the black suit fucks with your mind. So, or it could be vice versa where Miles, maybe they flip it and put it on Miles and, try to do new things. And
yeah,
so
I was thinking.
That's how I feel they're going with it. I think there's going to be a lot of cool, like they showed in the trailer, like a lot of cool tag team moves and stuff. But I think eventually this suit's going to get on Peter and that's going to be a Miles section.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but the Prowler sector, spoilers for Miles Morales, the Prowler section, you had a lot of cool tag team moves. It reminded me of Arkham Knight. It reminded me of Arkham Knight a lot, where you had a bunch of tag moves with Catwoman and Nightwing and I'm missing somebody else. Robin. It
didn't remind you of Spider-Man Friend or Foe?
It did, absolutely. Spider-Man Friend or Foe. But the way they would tag in and they would punch and do a combo attack together. I don't necessarily mean they have to get rid of one of them. Like, I think there will be a time where they do fight because, like you said, because of the the symbiote messes with them. I think there's gonna be some significant time where Harry's in the suit, where it's in the Venom suit, or maybe it gets detached from Harry right away and goes back onto Harry, potentially. But I think they're going. I don't know if they're gonna go old school Eddie Brock with this. I think they're going Ultimate Venom with Harry because that was spoilers for the endings of both Spider-Man's games. But that's kind of what they were leading to. But do you think Harry will keep the suit for some period of time, or is it going to go on Eddie Brock? Are they going to do the bell tower scene where it just falls on Eddie?
Well,
that would be cool.
I kind of feel like that. This is what also in this universe how the Green Goblin comes in play is Norman invents the Green Goblin to kind of control his son. He kind of hang, because he sees what it does. The suit does to him. So, but I don't know if it'll go on Eddie.
It'd be cool because that is.
I feel like at first Norman's gonna have good intentions.
Yeah.
Like every crazy person does. Like every sociopath.
I think you make a really good point because like Green Goblin's probably the biggest it's like Spider-Man's one of the most iconic villains. It's kind of like his main
Outside
villain.
of,
And we
outside
haven't
of
really
Venom
seen him
now,
yet.
Venom is
We haven't
No.
seen him yet. Now we're going to see Venom and Kraven. Maybe we get hints of Green Goblin. I think having two Spider-Man in the same universe is a good idea. I want to see them play around with it. Don't necessarily get rid of either one. I do like the idea of Peter getting the suit and him being the villain a little bit. But I also kind of want to play as the villain then. I kind of want to be... I kind of want to have the powers with the suit with Peter and punch things and maybe potentially, hurt people that you're not supposed to hurt, even though you technically should kill all these people because you're super strong anyway with your punches. But comic book movies. Do you guys think a lot of people maybe were reading into this ending too much in the trailer where he's like, Kraven asks, will anyone be a challenge for me? Or something like that, vaguely, something like that. Like, who will give me the thrill of the hunt? And then, Venom goes, yes, we will. And then you see the Venom face. A lot of people read into that you're going to play as Venom. Is this a possibility? Are we going to be Venom in this game? Go ahead, Lou.
I think so for a little bit. I think so for a little bit. I think that's the direction that they want to go with this. Is that
Okay.
I do think so. And to go back on the other point before, I
No
don't know
more
if they're
going
gonna
back. Silencia.
No, just real quick.
I'm
I
messing
don't
with you
know
again.
if they're I don't know if they're going to necessarily get rid of a Spider-Man here. Obviously, if they're going to go forward with a Spider-Man, it'll probably be Miles Morales, right? So,
I guess I said that in passing. I didn't mean, but I meant at the game, not permanently.
Yeah, kill him permanently. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
No, I meant like
In
I mean,
this
you know,
game.
you're
In
only
this game.
you're only gonna be able to play as Spider-Man for a portion of it because of Peter getting the suit.
I
Yeah,
feel
I
the
meant.
same way. I feel the same way. Yeah, I feel the same way with that. That's a good point.
No, I don't think they're permanently. They want to keep us around because we love Peter,
Yeah.
and they want to get the younger crowd who's grown up with Miles
Yes.
and keep them around. So they're gonna keep. I
They
think
can
they
play
keep
with
both
this
of
for
them.
a while. Like they don't have to get
And
rid of it.
I think it could be a good. It looked like a good dynamic, but like you said, it's a CGI trailer. I didn't mean to cut you off a little bit. That's what I meant by what I said.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine. Go ahead, Lou.
Well, usually, the first thing I thought about is that they would go in that direction of eventually giving the keys over to Miles.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's this game, but I mean, they killed off, someone. I'm not gonna say who, but they can kill off anyone.
Rhino.
Don't you think?
Rhino. They killed Rhino.
I don't know what you just said.
I said Rhino. I was just joking.
no.
They
Well,
killed
he's not dead.
Kingpin's dead now.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Everybody's dead. Everybody.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
they
dude.
could. I mean, when you. That's why my favorite horror movie was Scream, because they killed off their highest paid actor right away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it kind of was like, hey, anyone can freaking die in this. And then when they do that in the first Spider-Man, when they do something like that, it does prove that outside of maybe the Spider-Man themselves,
Yes.
anyone else can.
Feels a little more real because that was a gut punching thing.
Yeah, it gives
sure.
you
It was like what?
it does give you a sense of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, in my personal opinion, I don't think you play as Venom. I think that was a reference to Peter wearing the symbiote.
Yeah.
He's the one that can defeat Kraven, and then that's kind of when you play as, you play as Peter wearing the symbiote, and I think you'll fight Kraven.
Okay. I kind of feel the same way as you do, JJ. I think you don't necessarily... You can play with these dynamics for a while. It's cool. Just let these characters grow together and prosper together and have some fun. World build with Wolverine. Get Moon Knight in there. Get Daredevil. Get some cool throwbacks in there.
The interview I read is that they said that the Wolverine and Spider-Man are not going to be a standalone universe like other Marvel games. I think they're throwing like
The MGU,
Avengers
baby.
and
Well, Brian Itatar
under
said
the bus.
that he felt like Spider-Man was Iron Man of the
Mm-hmm.
MCU of the MGU, and he was hoping these other studios would carry the torch like Square Enix and so. But because there was a reference of the Avengers game in Spider-Man, but they chose to go separate, from each other,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a bummer. They go their own. It's not going to be the Spider-Man we know in the Avengers game. It's going to be a different Spider-Man. Okay, whatever. But clearly Marvel trusts Sony and Insomniac very, very much to give them these properties. And if Sony Studios, if each one of them get a property, I am down. Because build your own MGU, Marvel Gaming Universe, if you guys don't know what I'm referencing there. But you got a lot of fun you can have with these guys. Just enjoy. Maybe make a lot more money by doing a Venom standalone game instead of DLC. Charge $40 for that. Do that.
Well, kind of like they do that with Miles. 'Cause
Yeah.
Spider-Man-
Miles 2
Force.
will be, yeah.
I'm gonna
You
say
could
one
add-
thing.
Go ahead, Lou.
I do think that Miles is gonna get another game.
Of
And
course.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
Spider-Man Miles Morales 2.
Yeah.
I do think he's gonna get another game. Like,
Lou was
I
right
think
about
that's
this.
the direction.
Lou and JJ was right because I thought for a while there they were going to get rid of the number simplification and just have like titles for their and Spider-Man 2. it goes Spider-Man Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2. Oh god, it's all over the place.
Well, you were right about God of War though, because it didn't
Yeah.
end up being God of War 2,
Yes.
but Spider-Man ended up being Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they're
And
gonna have
shout out to Joel.
Ragnarok, and this will be God of War 2028.
Yeah.
They're just gonna keep
Shout out to
doing the
Joel.
cycle.
Shout out to Joel, super best friend of the channel. He had a great point with Spider-Man 2. If they called Miles Morales Spider-Man 2, that would put a huge burden on that game. And people would trash the F out of that game because
That's
they're
true.
expecting more Peter. They're expecting more and more. And it is a direct sequel, but they did it in the smart way. It's not Miles Morales, he's in this whole little, section. Don't worry about the bigger picture too much. Spider-Man's hella irresponsible. I'm gonna go to another fucking continent freaking with my girlfriend while I'll let a teenager deal with the problems of the city and everything, which is funny. But of course, you got these things you gotta overlook because you just gotta have fun and just enjoy the game and stuff like that. I don't think we're gonna play as Venom yet. I think there will be some more world building and stuff. I don't think Venom necessarily. I don't think this is gonna be like the Marvel Cinematic Universe where they just kill off villains and stuff. The villains are gonna hang around. They're gonna make appearances. Slight spoiler: Kingpin is in. Miles Morales a little bit. That was a nice That was a nice little touch there. Like, oh, okay, he's still around. He's still hanging around. Like it creates a bigger world and stuff like that. So let's go on to Wolverine. I want to talk about Wolverine, and then we'll end it with God of War. It's led by Brian Horton, creative director, and then Cameron Christensen's game director. I think Brian Horton directed. I think he directed Miles Morales. I think he was the game director for Miles Morales. He's the creative director on this one. Correct me in the comments down below if I'm wrong about this one. It's supposed to be emotional narrative, cutting edge gameplay. That's their verbiage, not mine. And it's
It was a play on words.
yeah, very early development. I don't think we see this game until 2024 at the earliest, 2025 at the latest. JJ filled us in. They're gonna connect it to Spider-Man a little bit. It is a standalone game in terms of you don't need to play Spider-Man to play this one. Lou filled us in with that one off stream. Shout out to Lou. But Wolverine, biggest surprise, teaser trailer, a lot of Easter eggs in there. The Hulk license plate, Hulk 181, which is a comic book issue with with Hulk and Wolverine together, I think fighting each other. or teaming up together. Hulk and Wolverine are kind of similar in terms they're always portrayed as the loner wanderer type, right? They're always going to place. The early vibe I got from this, I hate to say it, but I kind of got a vibe of Logan. Bar, cowboy hat, him drinking beer. Almost Old Man Logan vibe. I'm hoping this is not Old Man Logan. I'm hoping...
It didn't look like an old version of him, but
I know
we didn't get to really see a lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of people want 5'3", gruffy, hairy Wolverine. I don't necessarily think we'll see that. That'd be cool if we actually see traditional Wolverine. But my question is to you guys, what do you want this game to be? Do you want it to be more linear? Do you want it to be kind of semi-open world like God of War? Again, because Logan's kind of portrayed as the wanderer. He's moving to place. He's been to Japan. He's been to Seattle. He's been Canada. Are we going to see some Weapon X? Where are we going to go? It's interesting. I kind of don't want to really be in the shoes because it's kind of hard to, a lot of people forget about the X-Men Origins game, and that game was actually pretty damn solid. It was pretty brutal.
That game was better than solid. That game was awesome.
Yeah, like
that was one
very
of the
violent.
That was one of the first Marvel games where, wow, that movie was garbage.
Yeah, movie game. Yeah, it was a really good movie game. Like a really excellent movie game.
There's not a lot of those.
No, you're right about that. There's not very many. Probably only in one hand you could count. I don't know if they're gonna. They said it's gonna be a mature tone, which is giving me hope. It's gonna be rated M. It's gonna be violent. But if it goes teen, I'm not gonna complain. But it sounds like they're leaning towards the M rating. There was blood on his knuckles. Everybody was dead in the bar. But again, it's a teaser trailer. You can't read too much into it. It's just a concept that they're gonna go in. But where do you guys want the game to go? I want to start with Lou. Do you want it as a linear experience, kind of like Uncharted, maybe with some sub-open world, some open sub, like kind of like God of War, a little bit? Or do you want it like Spider-Man, where it's, you're stuck in one huge place running around?
I don't want it. I would want it more like Spider-Man than I would want it to be Uncharted. I don't want it to be linear, or however you say it, that I can't say it well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it that way. I would want the ability to kind of like walk around during this section and do whatever I have to do these little side missions or get these collectibles that I would want. I would want it that way. I would also, if he's older, I could see a lot of ways to. I don't know how I could put this well, but if he's older, I would like a lot. There's a lot of backstory that you could have for later on.
You could.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Flashback, yeah, you could flashback.
Yeah. You don't even have to. You don't even have to flash back. Like you can do like his older story, have some little like teasers about what he was like when he was younger, and then come back to it when he was younger. So there's a lot to establish there, just as much as there's a lot if he was in his prime. Yeah. So, it wouldn't really bother me as much. I want to see more before I fully have an idea of where we're going with his story.
Because we don't have any idea right now. We don't know where they're going to go. I want to just get your guys' feelings about it, and because these things were naturally just going in my head. Like, wow, it could go multiple different ways. They could do a lot of different things. They could have a lot of great cameos of other X-Men and Deadpool and stuff like that, and like they could do a lot of potential things to build this MGU a little bit. What about you, JJ? Where do you want it to go? You want more a linear experience? Do you want it to be open world?
I don't know how they can do open world like they do Spider. Because he just doesn't travel fast. You're not going to be able to go from one end of the map to the other quickly like Spider-Man does.
Well, first of
I'm
all,
guessing
you
it's gonna
give
take
him
place.
a Harley, a beer,
That's
a
true.
leather
You could-
jacket, and you
you
let
could
him
give him-
just run.
You could pull. You could pull like Ghost of Tsushima, where you just
A
hit
Days
whistle
Gone.
and your motorcycle.
Yeah. Days
Just
Gone. I thought you
your
were gonna say
motorcycle
Days Gone,
on
where
the
you have your like, you know.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
It comes flying around. And you get your motorcycle. I'm guessing it's going to be semi-open world, where kind of like God of War, where you can still get collectibles, but there is a path to get to certain things. But
Yeah.
I don't know. As long as I trust Insomniac to tell a good story, and that's where I'm at right now. It's a character that us '90s kids love. We grew up. He really exploded, and so it's gonna sell well. Like Lou said, you just gotta see more. You can't go much about a bunch of dead people at a bar. I'm sure there's 462 Easter eggs in that trailer. But
Yeah, there was a lot.
I think there's going to be Easter eggs in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So-
There were a ton in the previous games, too.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 92% sure that he's gonna make a cameo in Spider-Man 2, and there might be a side quest where maybe you play as Wolverine, because they should have at least his fighting down. I don't know. But I
Maybe
don't
a
know.
silhouette of him, like him riding off or running off.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll be able to play as him. I'm sure he makes a cameo.
Okay. I'm kind of with you on the fact of semi-open / linear. I don't mind linear games like Uncharted. They felt open enough, especially Uncharted 4, the areas felt open enough where you can move around, get collectibles. Wolverine Logan is a wanderer. He moves around a lot. I would like to see him go to Japan. I'd like to see him go to Canada. I'd like to see him do all these things. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Again, tough position for them. Whatever they want to tell. I think it'd be really hard for them to do open world, like you said. I think it'd be pretty hard and pretty boring unless you give them a motorcycle. Go with a semi-open linear experience, maybe. Maybe, like Lou said, you could play. If he is old, you could see him young in flashbacks and play some of those, maybe. I think he might be Prime Logan. I think they'll go Prime Logan. I don't think they'll go super old. I hope they go a little.
There's going to be Spider-Man's 25 in this universe.
Yes.
23.
Yeah, they didn't.
So
They made him
probably no one really knows how old Logan is. So I'm assuming
He doesn't
Prime
age
Logan's
like
probably in
normal
his
people.
40s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming he's probably in his 40s.
Yeah.
But like you said, he's going to look like he's in his mid 20s
Yeah.
because of that healing factor or whatever.
Healing factor, animanium in his bones and stuff keeps him.
Oh, that's hard to play with too.
Yes.
The regeneration and stuff
I'm already kind
to
of
make the
thinking-
game balanced.
I'm thinking it might play similar to God of War, use the triggers for stuff, move around. Like that's kind of where I'm thinking of leaning towards, but I don't know if it necessarily would go that. I'm thinking naturally, when I think of Wolverine, I think of naturally fast-paced combat, Devil May Cry, crazy bullshit, running up walls, slicing mofos in half, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Whatever they want to do, like you guys said, whatever Insomniac wants to do, I'm for them, unless they F it up. No, I'm joking. unless you don't give me what I want. It's in very good hands. Very good people that really, really care. That first Spider-Man game showed me how much they really care. The minuscule details, the story-drivenness of the game. Again, hard to go off on concepts. This is just our thoughts. Don't kill us in the comment section. We're just having fun with what we think it could potentially go. And would you guys be opposed to other cameos, like seeing Cyclops, Colossus, Deadpool, something like that?
No, I'm excited to find out who they put him up against. Who is going to be the
villain? Yeah,
Hulk, the big bad.
Hulk is the villain.
That could be they've done a good job of staying, like even with Spider-Man, within the source materials and playing around with that in their own twists and stuff.
Yeah, Spider-Man very much felt like a comic book story, and I think that's why a lot of people really enjoyed it. And I think that's what they're gonna do. Have fun with Wolverine. He has a lot of great serious story, a lot of heart-ripping stories, but have some fun with him. Have some fun with him. And Lou alluded to this earlier. Who's going to be the voice actor for Wolverine? Are they going to get Hugh Jackman? I mentioned this off-stream to him because of that Daredevil thing that Troy Baker was talking, or like that Marvel game you knew about. I kind of hope it's not Troy Baker. I hope they get somebody else, but Joel kind of has that gruff voice. Maybe he could be Troy could probably do a nice Wolverine, but honestly, I think they should get somebody else. But what do you guys think? Like, who are you envisioning Logan as?
That is tough. I got nothing off the top of my head.
What about you, Lou?
That's tough because I'm not used. I don't know a lot of voice actors besides Troy and that well. So I'm just gonna go with Troy here, just because that's the one that came off the top of my head, and that's the one I know the most.
Clearly,
so he's doing everything.
Clearly, it's gonna be Hideo Kojima that voices Wolverine.
Oh no! Oh no!
Well, he already does a voice in the universe, so
Troy.
Let's see.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But
Miles Morales, which doesn't mean it's a whole different voice. He could do two voices. I don't think Simon
has great vocal range. Like Troy has great vocal range. He could do a lot of different stuff. He could do the gruff voice, but I would want them to go outside. Hell, if you can get Hugh Jackman, I think you do it. Sony seems like they're beginning a lot of stuff. Like revitalizing some people's careers, like Christopher Judge, and now they're getting Tony Todd.
He does do Aaron Black.
Which one?
He does do Aaron Black in Mortal Kombat.
Yes, he does. Actually, no, I thought that was Matt Mercer that did Aaron Black.
No, in Mortal Kombat 11, he did Aaron Black and Shin.
Because Troy's very close to him, and Matt Mercer have a very close one. It's hard to tell sometimes. I kind of want them to go differently. I no offense to Troy or anybody in the industry, Nolan North, stuff like that. Yeah, give somebody a chance. Give Hideo Kojima a shot. Let him be Wolverine.
You're a psychopath.
There's a twist. He has a baby. Wolverine has a baby. BB, little BB.
You're a psychopath. You got his little BB?
Little hands. Oh my God, raining.
We can give it to Norman Reedus. That'd be I'd need something to do after Walking Dead. Oh no, he's got the spinoff and his other show.
Yeah, and supposedly he's working on more games with Hito too. So I mean,
Steve Blum is most vocal acted Wolverine the most.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit. I heard you, Steve Blum.
29 times.
Steve Blum has voice.
Yeah, he's done. He did Ultimate Alliance 3. Obviously, Fortnite, what Wolverine is most known for. So,
that's not a bad choice.
He's done it the most.
He's done it a lot. Like Steve Blum has done Wolverine. He's a great Wolverine. That'd be cool if they got him for that. We'll see where they go with it. Let's talk about the final thing. The God of War of the Ragnarok. JJ, the God of War guru we have here. We got Lou as well. All three of us platinum the game. On the hardest difficulty, we beat the Queen Valkyrie. We pity the fools that beat the Queen Valkyrie on easy. Not pointing fingers at anybody, but just saying. We pity them. Pity them beneath us. We are joking, by the way. But
you're funny.
Corey Barlog did he was the game director. He revitalized God of War. Got it the game of the year. Creative director on this one. He's working Sony Santa Monica. We know for a fact they're kind of working on a space game. I think that's probably the one he's working on. But he said there was a lot of other projects going on there. So maybe there's multiple more projects going on in Sony Santa Monica. That's probably the one, the space one is probably the one they hired Alana Pierce for to write a little bit. That's the one Corey's probably doing. But he's creative director on this one. They
No,
gave it to...
she wrote for this one.
Did she? You sure? Because
Yeah.
they brought her on very
Yeah,
late.
she's wearing. They did. Well, if you follow her on Twitter and post, she's got the pictures of her wearing the dev team shirt.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay. But she's probably got more...
she could be working on that game.
She's probably really working on that game. 'Cause
Yeah.
this game, you can clearly tell they were working on this game for a long time. Like, this game looks almost done. We'll definitely see it next year, unless there was a catastrophic snag or something. But he's going to be creative director. Eric Williams, longtime veteran. Since the very first God of War, he's been at Sony Santa Monica. But this time he's actually in the director's chair, and it sounds like they're going to tell a pretty good story. I kind of like that they got angsty teen Groot / Atreus, trying to figure out his past, and his father trying to keep him from the War of the Gods there. But it's years after the first game, which you guys were right. I thought it was going to continue right away, but it's years after. You guys called that. Atreus' heritage is key plot point. Thor and Freya, main antagonists. But, off stream, when they did the Q&A, where Corey mentioned he was doing, that there was other projects being worked upon, they did slightly mention Odin. I think Odin will be the big bad of this. End of the Norse saga, like JJ mentioned, / Lou mentioned as well. New runes, abilities, all 9 realms are in the game, which we could not do in last game. Most realms were locked in, and if we could go to some realms, they were just one little segment. They weren't very big. In the trailer, it looks like we're going to a lot of different places. A lot of beauty. Like there's still the boat, but there's the dog sled mechanic. Game looks really cool. Atreus is tall now. The beginning of the game, he could barely kill a deer by himself. Now he's carrying a deer, killing it by himself behind his back. Fimbulwinter is happening. Ragnarok. If you know what Ragnarok means, it means the end. Everything ends. So it makes sense that this would be the last of Norse Saga. Corey mentioned, like Lou mentioned, alluded to earlier, this is going to be the last of the Norse Saga because of it takes so long to make these games. It's going to take 5 years, and the rumor length of this game is 40+ hours. That's crazy alone. Like that's a big ass effing. That's JRPG territory in gaming. Obviously, we're used to that a little bit here because some of us play a lot of JRPGs, and then we platinum a lot of other. I think we put over 40 hours in the other God of War to platinum it. So we're used to that. Ghost of Tsushima took us like 60 hours to platinum, right, or 50 or something like that. Like a lot of these games take a while, and they're open world, but Sony makes it generally pretty easy to platinum them. It's not too hard, but I kind of like what we saw in the trailer. My favorite line was Thor's line, and they got the guy from one of the dudes from Sons of Anarchy to voice Thor, and he's just, you seem like I think he said well-adjusted person or something like that, or calm adjusted person. It's really such a good line.
They got a Beta from if anyone watches Walking Dead, he's voicing it.
Oh, okay,
Beta's voicing there. So
very cool.
Yeah, and
very great.
You did watch Sons of Anarchy. I believe it was Jack's best friend that, spoiler alert, got killed in a prison, beat to death.
Oh my god, that show's like 13 years old, JJ. How dare you?
I'm told not to. I spoil everything. So I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that persona up. I'm gonna be the hero.
Well, let's go with the God of War guru. A lot of info dump we just found out about this game. Do you like? Where do you think it's going? Do you like angsty teen Atreus? Do you like that we're going to all 9 realms? Do you like that? The combat system looks very much improved. It looks like we got a lot more abilities, and plus Tyr. I forgot to mention Tyr is in the game too. The Norse God of War, and he's like 13 feet tall. He looks.
When he stands up,
I was like, that was so cool. That was so cool. Where do you think it's going?
the end. We're gonna figure out how true. So far they've said, obviously with their own twist with with the whole Atreus storyline,
Yes.
but they stayed fairly true to Norse mythology. So do they keep doing that? Because is this I'm anxious to see what they do with Kratos. Like you already talked about, this is the end of this mythology, this particular God of War. Okay, so is what do they do with Kratos? How do they do that? And I don't know. I don't have much to say. I'm just really excited. I'm so excited. Like I said, I've been playing Ascension. I go back and replay all the other ones every once in a while, and like you said, the combat looks good. I like the dog sled because of Ragnarok. It's like a snow, never-ending snow or whatever.
Yeah, Fimbulwinter.
Yeah, so from what they showed, it looks fantastic, and hopefully the story's good.
I like the verticality too, where he hook shot it up with the and then he jumped. Ah! That's so Kratos.
I mean, when you don't start, when you don't have the Blades of Chaos in the first one, you just have the axe.
Yeah.
Before you play it, it's kind of a bummer, and then you play with the axe, and you feel you can through a controller somehow you can feel the weight of an axe, and you just.
I'm very excited about that because of this. The DualSense. Oh my god.
It's gonna be.
The feel,
it's gonna be exciting.
The vibration, you holding back on the axe and throwing it.
It's just gonna be fun for me when what's her face shows up with the golf club.
Yeah, Freya's probably gonna be the Queen Valkyrie herself again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thor.
Well, I'm with you. I think Odin, and I'm anxious to see what Thor's role in this is.
Yeah.
Is he an ally? Is he
they said him and Freya were the antagonists of the game, but
yeah, because I think Odin comes into play.
I mean, you did spoilers for a game that is almost 5 years old, or three or 4 years old at this point. We did a God of War
2018, I think.
But you kind of murdered his kid.
If you don't, hey, wait. You don't want to hear this part, fast forward 38 seconds.
I already said it. Yeah.
I mumbled you.
Yeah, like he kind of. I can see why Thor's a little pissed. So let's just say that. You kind of, you did things. You did a lot of things in that game, which were excellent. The game was so good. What about you, Lou? Where do you see it going? What do you expect? And are you liking what you see so far? You like the verticality, the new combat system looking more improved, the snow, and we still have the boat because we're at another, like, depending on what realm we're in. I think we're going to see a lot of different colors. Because a lot of people were complaining it's all snowy and the lake's frozen, and it's like, guys, like, it's Fimbulwinter. We've seen a good chunk of this game, but not anything. Probably 1% of this game we saw. But that trailer had so much great detail, so much great insight. I'm excited to see where it goes. What about you, Lou?
So I thought it looked really phenomenal. I think it's gonna look better and better every time that they show it, which I assume we'll see another tease of it maybe December or sometime in March.
I was thinking the same thing.
But right, it's expected to come out in March, right? Or it's like March something.
There's no date for it, but
okay.
A lot of people assume.
Yeah. So, it looks great. It looks phenomenal. I'm interested to see where they go. They hinted at that Kratos is going to die several times in that one. At the very end, before they spread the ashes, I guess, the mother had some great, I don't want to say too much, but I'm just going to say intuition of what would happen going forward. And she had a shrine there of Atreus basically leaning over Kratos, and Kratos, I guess, is dead. If you saw the very end, it was lifted up before they went towards and what's it called, buried her ashes or spread her ashes on the mountain there. If he does die, I think they just go and get him anyway. That's just how God of War works. So, it's gonna be.
You always battle back from hell. You would never
Yeah.
truly dead.
Well, they tease that like you don't want to go when you go to Helheim. You don't want to go there. Like you never want to go there. And I figure we're gonna go there in the next game when Atreus gets sick. I do think that we go there. I do think that he learns more from Zeus. I do think that we see a lot of stuff.
Ooh.
I do think his demons catch up to him. I do think that's one of the reasons he is running. It's not just to protect Atreus, but to protect himself and protect what's coming. Maybe train Atreus to be more of a god-like person, before he goes, if that's the direction that they're going to go with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do think that we're going to see a lot of chaos in this 40 hours plus of story. I do think we see a lot of Kratos' past.
They
I
could
do think that we see.
easily end it here.
Huh?
They could easily end it here if it is 40. That's what the rumor is, but they could end the Norse saga pretty nicely here.
Well, they're going to end the Norse saga.
Yeah.
My question
Does
is,
you like it or not?
yeah, my question is, I still think it should have been 3 games. But
Yeah, a lot of people did. I thought so too. But I like this idea as Kratos as a traveling dimensional man because of the runes, and he saw Tyr do it, right? And at least that was a big plot line in the first game. I definitely think they're I'm gonna ask you what mythology they're probably gonna go next, but I definitely think they're gonna go Egyptian next because that's what Corey really wanted to do. I think they're gonna do that. I think he's gonna keep going to different mythologies. I think I understand spending 5+ years, technically 15+ years on 3 games is tough. I mean, get 2 in for 8 to 10, and then kind of go to another mythology. We're only getting older. I mean, we are not getting younger on this podcast. We are all getting older.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
I got that Benjamin Button disease.
like it's gonna be interesting. The vibe I got was that he's not running away from anything. He just doesn't want Atreus to follow the same footsteps. He didn't want Atreus to be known as a god. He wanted to teach his son properly. He wanted to raise his son properly. Then he got more involved because, people stick their nose in your business, right? And then he became the rage demon, and he did some things, in the game, which is Kratos-like, and I liked it. And I like, Atreus had some power tripping, and he might be power tripping a little bit too. In this one, he wants to see that Loki side. I really don't think you have to kill Kratos and do I think you can still go to Helheim and not kill Kratos. I think they're gonna go to Helheim again. I think you're right, but I don't necessarily think they're gonna keep killing Kratos and bringing him back. I don't think that's gonna happen. I know that's what everybody interprets in the mural and stuff like that, but there's a lot of different ways they can go, and they could do a lot of different things.
So do you think that we're gonna have Atreus and Kratos for the rest of our games?
Yes, I think they're gonna keep palling around together.
Sort of like Nathan and Sully.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it. I mean, I think. I don't no offense to Atreus because I do like him a lot, and I like this dynamic of father and son trying to understand each other, and it's so damn hard too because they're the same and different at the same time. They're the same and different at the same time. But I like
millennials.
I like damn it, Atreus, you're grounded. Go in the cave. Go in the cave. Dad, I was going on a date, and the final character they showed. I want to mention this really quick was Agrabota. Her and Atreus technically fall in love in the mythology, you know, Loki, you know, slight spoiler, but Loki and Loki and Agrabota give birth to Fenrir the wolf and supposedly the world serpent and all this stuff. But there's already a world
So
serpent
they
here,
have
right?
three. They have 3 kids.
Yes.
Hel, the goddess of death. Jormungandr.
Yeah, Hela, right?
And Sunir
Yes.
Mhm.
and the wolf.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
What-
mean, they're probably gonna
It's a
play
big
with
part
that a
of
little
Ragnarok.
bit. I think they're gonna
Is
go
he a
to
time
Egypt.
traveler?
I think they're gonna pal around. I don't think you necessarily gotta. I like the dynamic between. I think that's what makes the game so good, is them trying to understand each other and trying to prevent his son from following the same path. Yet he still kind of does that path anyway, and ends up getting crazy and fudged up. But whatever they want to do,
I just have
I
one
mean, they
correction.
can kill him off. Like, there's no, I'm not gonna have any big gripes about that if they do, because that's what kind of the mural shows, right? Sorry, his arm kind of going a little bit, right? But that could also be Tyr, right? It looks like Kratos, but maybe it's misinterpreted to be Tyr. You know?
Well, he's got
Maybe
the
it's
he's got the red lines on his
yes,
face.
that's what I'm saying,
I
though.
mean-
But you know, who knows? Like, you know, like Tyr's we don't really necessarily know. It doesn't mean it has to be set in stone. They already changed the outcome about a lot of things anyway that were necessarily not supposed to go.
This is the way
And
this is the way I look at it. Is
Yeah.
that it's not about saying goodbye to Kratos, but more of saying hello to Atreus and his story.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is a good way, I think you would, to end Kratos' story. He gets a good ending, and now you move on with Atreus. And it's not like that Kratos is going anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
ideally, you can go get Kratos at any time, to be quite honest. Like, at any time, you can go get him. And
Yeah, I understand why you say that, but then why do it then? If you can go get them anytime, just keep them alive and keep them going together.
Well,
you
it
don't
would-
necessarily
if
have
you
to
want-
do that.
if you want to get Kratos, it would be for the story going forward.
Yeah.
I mean,
it cost $29.99.
Add-on expansion.
I just think that it would be more of, okay, well, we put Kratos' story on hold for now. Now we explore Atreus. You can bring Kratos back at any
But-
time, man. Like, it's not really.
But that's what they are doing, though. They are exploring Atreus already. They've been doing it for these, like, last game and this game. They're growing together. And I don't, like, I get what you're saying, I understand, but I don't think they're gonna, I just don't get that vibe. I don't think Kratos is God of War. There is no other God of War. There is nobody else you can
No.
put. Atreus,
Yeah.
Atreus cannot carry a game by himself. It's because of these two together that carries the game. This is
Well, it
the
depends
God
on
of
how
War.
you put him over.
I
That's
know
the
what
thing.
you
It
mean.
would-
I get what you're saying, but again, I don't think you have to. Like, if you said there is a cop out and you can get them, but just let them be together. Let them go on adventures together. Let them go to Egypt and beat the shit out of Anubis. Let them go to
Yeah.
Japan and kill frickin', Koru, the frickin' mystical dragon motherfucker. Like, let them just do shit, Who cares? Like, I just don't see it necessarily ending that way. I think Kratos is the franchise. Like, he is the headline. He's the Cena. He is the Stone Cold. He is the Undertaker. He's got his WrestleMania moment every year or every game. Right? Like, Kratos is the man or the god or a bald man or a god bald man, striped bald man, god, Spartan person. I'm interested. It'd be cool. It'd be interesting to see what they do. I just don't get that vibe from this. I just see more of them figuring each other out and going on to other adventures together. I'm really interested because I really do think Odin's the final boss. I think they're gonna kill Odin in this game. I think they're gonna, like you said, cause a lot of, like you said, just chaos and just destruction. It is Ragnarok, right? It is.
I definitely
Ragnarok.
think there's going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be a lot in this game, which
There
is why
is.
it's 40 plus lives.
The definition of Ragnarok is doom of the gods.
Yes.
Is what Ragnarok means.
It means all of
And
Norse.
also,
Yeah.
it's true winners and moral chaos.
Yeah. I'm just really excited. It's cool to pick both of your brains and see where it goes. It'd be interesting to see what it does. It's going to be a really fun ride. We'll keep covering on the channel. Tokyo Game Show is at the end of the month. There's supposed to be a bunch of Persona announcements. I don't know when it's going to happen. It's probably Tokyo Game Show. We'll see.
Wasn't that movement the 20th?
What happened?
September 20th was going to be some Persona announcements.
No,
I thought I saw that running around online.
They never said. They never said when they were going to do it. They just said September. And it's the 25th anniversary. You made a joke in the party a few nights ago. Oh, it's going to be the 25th, dude. And it's like, it might be.
Yeah.
It might be Tokyo Game Show. Tokyo Game Show is the 30th through October. Bless you. Did you sneeze?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought. But let's end it with one final thing. Do you guys think there's going to be a PlayStation experience in December? Are they going to show some more stuff? Are we going to finally see Silent Hill? Are we going to see that Metal Gear game Platinum's working on? Do we know there's another FromSoft game on the horizon? Like, what do you think there's more? Because everyone here feels like they held back a little bit, right? Are we going to see more?
What? Something's going to get announced in November at the Game Awards. They're saving something for that. Keeley probably paid, or Keeley's like, hey, can I get...
Game Awards is December.
Yeah, so early December.
Okay.
So whenever, I think they'll save one thing for that. They could, and then, I don't know, probably, they'll have another show soon, but I don't think this year.
Okay. What about you, Lou? What's your gut feeling?
Yeah, I think something will be revealed there. I don't know if they'll have their own thing. Supposedly they were holding back some stuff to show, which that's what I was kind of more disappointed about.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I guess we'll see as we go along. So.
Well, GG and friends, and the GG Nation, GG Legion. That is our podcast for tonight. Love you guys very much. Love my panel. Shout out to my panel. Shout out to JJ and Skip to my Lou. Thank you so much for joining me. We didn't talk about every single game on there. We just talked about some of our favorites. We talked about the big three because we're really interested, and we know a lot of you are very interested about that too. So that's kind of where we're thinking it might go. I can't wait to find out. It's going to be fun. We'll try to get you a spoiler cast of Ghost of Tsushima once JJ and Lou are done with it, the Iki Island expansion. I know we haven't done much of those this year. We haven't beat a lot of the games we meant to do spoiler casts on this year, like Returnal and a few others. But I do appreciate all the love and support, not only from the panel, from you guys. Thank you so much. Smash the hell out of the like button. Comment down below what was your favorite part of the show, and what do you think of God of War, Wolverine, and Spider-Man 2? Where are they going? Where do you want them to go? I've been your fellow Straussman of the GG. Skip to my Lou. Strausszilla himself. We outie.